Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel. Today, we are diving deep into a fascinating philosophical approach called phenomenology. It offers a unique way to understand our human experiences, a method quite different from what we commonly encounter. When we try to understand human experiences, we often seek objective, measurable causes. For instance, the joy of cuddling is linked to oxytocin, vision to light hitting the retina, and goosebumps from music to the nervous system. Stress is often seen as a cortisol surge, and a runner's high is attributed to endorphins. These explanations attempt to understand us from the outside, relying on what can be scientifically measured. However, phenomenology takes an entirely different path. Instead of focusing on external causes, it centers on understanding experiences from the inside. This means exploring what it is truly like to live through various types of experiences from your own individual point of view. It is about deeply investigating your first-person perspective on reality. Phenomenology is the study of phenomena, things that appear to us, such as objects, memories, emotions, ideas, and even spiritual realities. It explores how these things are subjectively experienced from our personal perspective. This includes not just what we see, but also what we hear, feel, remember, desire, touch, perceive, think, choose, and imagine. It delves into how these phenomena are given to our minds, shaping our unique experience of the world. Phenomenologists seek to describe lived experiences, focusing on how phenomena appear in our consciousness. Instead of explaining causes, like brain chemistry, they ask, what is it like to feel motivated? The aim is not to uncover why things happen, but to offer a detailed account of how experiences manifest in our consciousness from the perspective of the person experiencing them. This approach centers on the subjective nature of human experience, rather than objective explanations. The purpose of these phenomenological descriptions of lived experiences is to uncover their general features. They aim to identify the defining characteristics that make each type of experience what it is. Therefore, these descriptions are not just about what one specific phenomenologist experiences. Instead, they seek to understand what that type of experience is like in general, for everyone who might encounter it. Another significant aim of phenomenology is to lay a foundation for objective studies of experience, including scientific research. For instance, phenomenologists would observe that we cannot effectively search for the physiological cause of something like a runner's high if we do not first truly understand what we are trying to explain. We need to know what the experience of such a high is actually like before we can investigate its physical basis. Phenomenologists argue that their detailed descriptions enable us to fully grasp the personal meaning of our experiences. This approach challenges the tendency to reduce experiences to mere objective measurements. For instance, a phenomenologist would emphasize that the deep emotional significance of happiness cannot be fully explained by the presence of dopamine or serotonin. The lived experience is far richer than its chemical components. To uncover the defining traits of experiences, phenomenologists use a careful, methodical approach. For example, to understand nostalgia, the feeling of longing for a past moment, like a happy childhood memory, they begin by bracketing any causal explanations, such as linking it to brain events. This helps them focus purely on how nostalgia appears to the mind, exploring what it truly feels like to experience it. Furthermore, phenomenologists intentionally set aside any particular aspects of the experience that are unique to one individual's personal perspective and are not universally shared by everyone who has that experience. So, a phenomenologist would not say that nostalgia always involves longing for a past vacation. That specific element is not essential or necessary for the experience to be what it is. The general feeling is what matters, not the specific memory that triggers it for one person. Phenomenologists engage in mental experimentation, imagining nostalgia with and without elements like grief, desire, hope, or yearning. This helps them identify which components are essential to the experience. For instance, they may determine that nostalgia inherently involves sadness about not being able to return to a past moment. Without that sadness, it would be a simple memory, not the complex emotion of nostalgia. Let's explore practical outcomes of this methodology by looking at the work of renowned phenomenologists. Michel Henry, 1922 to 2002, offered a phenomenology of subjectivity, delving into what it means to be a self. He noted that our inner experiences, like emotions, feel distinct from how we experience external objects. While objects like a table seem separate, we feel one with our emotions. We perceive the table outside, but we truly embody our feelings. Maurice Merleau Ponty, from 1908 to 1961, offered a phenomenology of the lived body. He noted that we subjectively inhabit our own bodies, meaning we live our bodies from the inside out. In contrast, we perceive other people's bodies as objects in the world, distinct from our own lived experience. This distinction highlights the unique way we relate to our own physical presence. Emmanuel Levinas, 1906 to 1995, developed a phenomenology of others, arguing that human faces demand an ethical response unlike inanimate objects. While a table asks nothing, the face of a homeless child at our door compels concern and a desire to help. This highlights the moral depth inherent in human interactions, suggesting that the presence of others calls us to act in ways that objects do not. Jean-Paul Sartre, a prominent figure, provided a phenomenology of freedom. He argued that we experience the past as something fixed and unchangeable. However, the future appears to us as an open array of possibilities. We have the power to shape and create this future using our ability to choose, including how we decide to think and act in response to our past experiences. This emphasizes our agency in defining our future. Phenomenology, despite its insights, faces criticism. Critics argue it's impossible to identify truly universal features of experience, free from personal biases or cultural conditioning. They claim non-essential aspects can't be fully isolated. For example, the idea that a human face demands a response may be influenced by cultural norms or upbringing, not an inherent feature of the experience. These critics question the universality of phenomenological findings. Phenomenology remains highly valuable, focusing on the first-person perspective where we live and find meaning in life. This approach deepens our appreciation for existence. In our fast-paced world, we often overlook the depth of our experiences. Phenomenology urges us to slow down, engage fully, and explore the richness of our subjective reality. It offers profound insight into what it means to be conscious in the world. If you found this exploration into phenomenology insightful and valuable, please consider supporting our work. Your generosity helps us continue creating educational content that delves into complex ideas and helps foster deeper understanding. Every contribution, big or small, makes a significant difference in bringing more such discussions to you. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of phenomenology. We hope this has given you a new way to think about your own experiences and the world around you.